It's time to fill your cup with some Chelsea's chai. Hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of Chelsea's Chai. Happy Friday. Happy Black History Month. Black History Month. Welcome to episode 3 of Chelsea's Chai. I'm very excited to have you back. Welcome back. My name is Chelsea Grow. I am your host and writer, creator, and stand-up comedian, sometimes a horizontal comedian, with these Zoom shows. And I'm glad you guys have been listening. I'm so excited to be on episode 3. We're just chugging along here and having a good time while we do it. So I'm going to get right into it. We're going to start off with your get into the bag segment. Okay. So the B of get in the bag for this week is something that I'm actually experiencing on my own. And it is called sacrifice what you want to get what you need. That is my boss up tip for the week. And I'll give you a quick example. I'm actually doing this right now in my own life. I noticed that, like a lot of people after the holidays and, that season, it's really easy to throw a few more drinks back than normal, eat a few more greasier things than normal. And it's funny because, January is the month that everybody likes to cleanse and detox and dry January. And I've done dry January before, but for me, January was just felt like, 2020 part 2. So I decided when February started that I would do a cleanse, which is what I'm doing now. So for the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be eating vegan with a B. That's basically a vegan who still uses butter and honey and the occasional aioli that might have some egg in it. So yeah, I'm eating vegan and I'm enjoying it so far. And by enjoying it, I'm enjoying how I feel. The food, I'm still playing around with the food. It's actually been surprisingly good though, because when you know how to season, it be popping. But in just a few days of me not drinking alcohol, I mean also not drinking alcohol for a few weeks, what I have noticed is that when I eat vegan and when I'm not drinking alcohol for these last 4 days or 5 days that I've started, I not only feel amazing, my head is clearer, I have a lot more energy, my sleep is better. And, I'm not committing to any long term lifestyle changes right now, but I will say I'm noticing a difference after just a few days. And, that's what I wanted. I wanted my body to get back in balance, to get back in equilibrium and lift my energy. So I'm sacrificing. And, when I'm making, 3 bean salads and, vegan, gluten-free wraps and I'm getting creative and I'm sauteing and grilling mushrooms and eggplant and stuff like that. It's forcing me to be creative and step outside the box to make my food like interesting and flavorful and stuff like that. Um, and I'm enjoying the challenge. I'm enjoying the challenge. So that's my boss up tip for you this week. And we all have things that happen in our lives. It's easy to get distracted or overindulge in certain things for a period of time, but listen to your body. It will tell you. I promise. It will tell you like when you need to adjust and listen to it. If you eat bacon and 30 minutes later your body be screaming at you like, "Girl, what you doing, girl?" Bacon. Who do you think I am? Then maybe you should listen to your body and just, put down the slab. I'm just saying. Um if you eat nuts and then you get that itchy feeling on your skin or something like that, hey, maybe time for allergy test. It may be time to just get some oat milk. I mean, that is whatever. Just the whole point is like sacrifice what you need to get what you want. If you want to have more energy, then yeah, maybe take a break from things that make you tired. Maybe switch from indica to sativa, or instead of drinking alcohol at night, have a ginger beer, or make sure you do get those 8 hours of sleep. I mean, I don't know, whatever you've got to do to make sure that you are at your tip top of energy, I highly recommend it. So that's my boss up tip for this week. So we're going to get into the accounting, which is the A in getting to the bag right now with our lovely favorite senior account manager, Krystal Powell. And this tip is a beautiful and poignant tip for Black History Month. So let's get into it. When it comes to the Black community, right? One thing I know is I grew up in a family where very few people in my family had really any financial knowledge. And when I say any, I mean, not say they didn't know about like a savings account or like a CD was or something like that. But I just know that like myself and when I talk to a lot of, black people in general, when we talk about growing up, we don't know about a lot of financial tips and things like that. And a lot of us come from, not knowing a lot about finances, and that's not our fault. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all it's slavery. Any reason black people don't know.
It's slavery. Yes, it's all
It is. I mean, anytime a
it
black
is.
person doesn't know how to do something, it's that white people are like, what? There's like 20-year-old white kids trying to be condescending to me, like, oh, you don't know what a stock portfolio is. I'm like, listen, slavery, okay? Don't look at me like you know why. It just blows my mind when like what, because I know some arrogant white people that they like, uh, you don't know what a prospectus is, and I'm like, you know what? Okay, spell prospectus, okay? They
Yes,
can't even spell these words they saying,
perspective.
but they know about money. They know like the difference between a liability and an asset. They know about like these little things that when you get the information, you're like, oh, duh. But if you don't have it, so I guess I don't know, I said all that to say, what are some things that you think that the black community and people in the black community, what can we do to become more financially literate and even or pass financial literacy down to our kids, you
Hmm.
know
Yeah. So, well, first, I think the most important thing is to know and to realize that money is accessible to us. That's the first thing. Um, I think a lot of times it feels like, and I'm not saying these barriers don't exist because they do and they're real, but it feels like that part of the world, that part of life doesn't belong to us in a sense. So the first thing is to claim it and say, no, I can do this. Like I can attain this. I can have a portfolio if that's what I want. I can invest in whatever if that's what I want. I can have money in a savings account if that's what I want. It just takes initiative, and it also takes you being willing to, I don't want to say learn the information because that's too simple, but accept the fact that you can learn the information. Like you mentioned earlier, um, I think you said not financially literate or something like that, but you can be. It's not out of reach. It's not out of reach. You don't have to necessarily have a certain kind of mind to be able to do these things. So that's the first thing we need to shed, is this idea that you have to have a certain type of mindset, certain type of talent or ability to be able to attain these things. You just need to know that you can learn these things and be willing to learn them. So the information is out there, is boundless, it's widespread, it's widely available. But a lot of the things it can seem overwhelming. So I would start out with trying to find like free basic like 101 type classes. So if you're interested in budgeting, look for a basic simple 10 steps to budgeting article, like a little wiki house or something like that. Or like a little YouTube video about it, or savings 101, or go on your bank's website and look at the accounts they have. Look at if they have any savings accounts, what they offer, whether it costs anything. Just kind of familiarize yourself with those things. And then just kind of talk to people who you see are kind of where you want to be, or you feel like have some knowledge that you want to have those conversations with your peers and the people around you. That's important as well. And then I would say just keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Like you said before, the world of stocks can be very overwhelming. It really can, but I believe that everybody can learn how to navigate it in their own way, in a way that works for them. It's not completely foreign and unattainable as it seems, because I truly believe that it has been constructed in a way that is intentionally confusing
Oh,
to
I agree
keep people
100%.
out. Yeah, to keep some people out.
Do
Yeah.
you think, do you have any specific books or any specific like kind of articles or anything like that you feel like, they have, baseball for dummies and stuff like that. I mean, is there something where it's like, all right, I don't I if this was a finance class, I'm failing. I don't know where to go, where to start. Like, is there just maybe like one or two tips you'd be like, okay, this is something, or this was a resource where you like for your opinion?
Um, the Motley Fool is one. That's Motleyfool. You can go to their website. I think it's motleyfool.com. Or you can just Google Motley Fool and it'll take you to their website. They have a lot of financial information on there, and it's very like relatable the way they give it out. And then there is I think it's Accounting Tools. Yes, accountingtools.com. It has a lot of like terminology, definitions, stuff like that, that can help you if you just want to look something up really quickly about what something means that you hear. When I need to learn something specifically, I generally go to YouTube and I'll either look at like a professor's lecture about it or somebody who's just really passionate about finance, and I'll just watch their video. There's no one specific that I like subscribe to really, but I'll just look at a bunch of different things and then I'll take all the common things from all of them and put them together and be like, okay, so that's what this means. This makes sense to me in this way. Because sometimes when you look at one thing, it may not come across as understandable the first time. So I watch things a bunch of different ways and I'm like, okay, now that makes sense to me. So I recommend doing something like that as well. So if I think of any additional resources that I can't think of right now, because I hadn't had a chance to really like sit and really think, oh yeah, this is the book that really helped me, I will send it to you.
Yeah, and you'll be back. Don't you worry. You'll be back. We're gonna have you some several future episodes. So I'm looking forward to
Okay.
that. Thank you so much. That was Krystal Powell. Always love her perspective. That was actually part one of our Black People and Money tip. We'll have part two next week. Make sure you follow Krystal online on social media. You can follow her at Get Busy Bookkeeping. That's at GETBusykKEEPING. Whoo, I had to double check them P's and K's. Okay, I make sure I had all the right ones. But yeah, Get Busy Bookkeeping. That's where you can follow Krystal. So make sure you guys log on and do that. So now we're getting into the G of the Get in the Bag segment, which is I like to call this like growth, GREAUX, which is like my last name. It's French. I'll tell you my family history another time. But yeah, so growth and gratitude. So I am going to suggest that for the next week, your growth and gratitude tip is that you get some rest. Okay, go to bed. Like, I mean, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. I understand that schedules are crazy right now. I understand everyone is scared. I understand everyone is confused. I understand everyone is overwhelmed. I understand these shutdowns and then these reopenings and then these re-shutdowns. I completely am, excuse me, I'm completely empathetic to what you guys are going through. And my best advice, the one thing that helped me the most, not only during this pandemic, but also even when I was out before this pandemic with my knee injury, is sleep. Get some sleep. Do not be afraid of getting some sleep. It's so funny. Ironically, I think because so many people have had this sudden surge of free time, um, in their lives over the last year, I think a lot of people are just feel like this anxious energy, like I have to do something, I need to be moving, I gotta move, I gotta do something, I gotta, it's like, that's not necessary. I think that the best thing to do is like put your feet up and go to bed. Turn Netflix off early. Actually, there's been some studies that have been done saying that, like, if you are having trouble falling asleep, turn off your electronic devices, at least an hour before bed. Because our bodies need to get into that REM sleep, that rapid eye movement, and it takes about 2 to 3 hours to get into that sleep, and then you want to be in that state for at least a few hours. So that's why when you when you shortchange yourself with like 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep, you're not getting what you need. And I'm telling y'all, sleep is so critical. Okay, you ever wonder why Asian women got that great skin? Because I be talking to Asian women, like older Asian women, like back in the day when we could go to Korean spas and stuff. And let me tell you, Asian women let you know, they're like, oh honey, I get 9 to 10 hours of sleep every night, and that's why they be like, 78, looking 28, and that is definitely a tip I try to like incorporate in my life. So yeah, so just this week, get some rest and don't feel bad about it. And don't let nobody ever make you feel bad about getting some sleep. I can't stand when people be like, "Oh, you napping again? All you do is sleep." Yeah, and you know what? And all I'm gonna do is live and have some energy. Okay, don't kill yourself for these companies. Okay, don't kill yourself for somebody else to make somebody else rich. Don't be out here stressing yourself out. Running yourself ragged just to make somebody else a dollar holla. No. Okay, go to bed. And that's the bag for this week. So now we can get into my favorite segment on Chelsea's Chai, Inside the Punchlines. And, this week's guest he's hilarious. He's insane. I got a whole intro for him. So we're just going to get right into it. So here's Inside the Punchlines. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chelsea's Chai. It is I, Chelsea. No, it's just Chelsea. So I'm very excited today. We're going to be doing our segment, Inside the Punchlines, where we get inside the jokes. We get to like what led to these hilarious bits. For those you don't know, comedians, we definitely go through some things to make y'all laugh. So, I'm excited to have this comedian who I've known for, oh my gosh, like I think 4 years now, 4 or 5 years. All right, guys, he is a stand-up comedian originally from Flowood, Mississippi. He recently dropped his debut comedy album and stand-up special called Girls Don't Twerk to Jokes. It's streaming everywhere. It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon, so you can definitely cop it. He's on.
It's not giving me no damn money.
They not giving him no money, but I guess they sound unforgiven. On some Chappelle stuff, right. They sound unforgiven. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead if you're at home, if you're listening on air, just clap it up for Mr. Niles Abston. Hey,
what's up?
Making the noise. What up, homie?
Making it.
Yeah,
making it. Living the dream.
Living the dream. I love it. Yeah, that's what we do here. Oh man, so now I just want to get right into it because we East Coast people, so we just get straight to the point.
Right.
So, how long you been doing stand up?
A little over 4 years. It'll be 5 years in next summer.
Okay, 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Like, that's longer than like 99.9% of other comedians.
Most people quit within like 2 years. I remember some reading that.
Yeah, a lot of people. Year two is tough though. I mean, because that's when you really decide, do I want to do this for real, or do I just want to, get drunk at the comedy club
right.
and fall into the background.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I'm wearing your merch. You got your special girls.
I know. I appreciate that.
Can you see?
Yeah.
Yo, you see? Yo, I don't know if y'all can. You make sure y'all cop it, okay?
Right.
Everybody loves this hat. I want you to know. Like every time I wear it to work a lot, and everybody's like, "Man, That's just such a cool
Well, shit.
high.
If the motherfuckers love it, tell them to buy it.
That's what I said. I'll be telling them. Listen, I
I'm
tell
over
them
here
it's my
struggling. If they love that shit, buy it. Come on.
right.
I just the way I kind of design stuff is like if I think I would like to wear it, then I just make it, and then hopefully other people buy it too. You know.
All right. Well, I wanted to. So the purpose of the segment, I just like I like getting to the root of things. I like getting to like the background. I like kind of like that voyeuristic. How do we get here kind of thing? So you have your comedy album, and I was thinking we could just listen to a few of the tracks, and you could kind of tell me the story behind like what led to it. Some
Okay.
jokes I think come to us as comedians quickly. Sometimes quickly you'll get a really really fire banger joke, right? But most
Mhm.
other jokes that we do is like you get a premise, you get an idea, you get a piece of the joke, and then life happens and leads you there to the
Yeah.
punchline. So this first track that we're gonna play is one of my favorites. The whole album's great, but I
Thank you.
mean, hey, it's called Jaden Smith. Oh, and if you're not watching, look up in the corner. That's Niles Abston. That's like you're in the corner of your wall.
Yeah.
The poster. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's up there, y'all.
my friend Haley Toop, she's a really talented artist from Mississippi. She painted that for me after I dropped the album. So shout out to Haley.
Shout out to Haley. You got a lot of friends. Now you got a lot of friends. That's how you know you're a good. That's how you know you're gonna make it, because you got a lot of friends.
Wow, you wild.
No, I'm just saying. No, you got real friends. I'm just saying.
I do. I've said that before. I think that's why like none of my relationships ever work out, because like I'm so blessed with like great family and great friends that it's just like I feel like the universe is like, nigga, you don't need nothing else. You good.
Right, yo. Okay, man. All right, we got to talk about this because
like I can't, like I know like a lot of people like they have all these jokes about how like they complain about how their family sucks and all this kind of stuff, and I'm just like sitting there like I can't relate. Like my family is great. Like I don't have any cousins that I don't like. I don't have any aunts and uncles that I don't like. I love my parents. We still have great relationship. I love my grandparents that are still here. Like my family's just great and they're so supportive. So every time I get dumped, I was like, damn, I wish my dad could have been like a piece of shit or something. Maybe like maybe I'd have a relationship that worked. And then all my friends are just great. Like I still have friends that from like the third grade. Like it's crazy. So
dude, that's amazing. Do you ever think that God, because you're blessed with so much talent, God's like, no, you can't have it all, man.
Can't have it all. That's why I'm short and I can't sing. That's God. God knew I would be ruining every woman's life on this planet if I could sing and if I was tall. So
God never gives us more than we can handle. Hey, exactly. If I had a Meg Thee Stallion booty, I wouldn't even know y'all. I be telling everybody, like, I wouldn't. All the friends I have are because I have a medium booty. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
It is like, and I love my body. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing is I love my body, but I gotta tell you, man, if I had a Meg Thee Stallion booty, I would be
right.
And I could sing. Are you kidding me? I would just be twerking and hitting high notes.
Going up the charts.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Let me get started. All right, guys, get ready. So this is the first track we're gonna go play. This is called Jaden Smith, and it's off of Niles Abston's debut album, Girls Don't Twerk Jokes. And let's have a listen, and then we'll chat afterwards.
I got in trouble on a weed charge in high school back in Mississippi. It's strict out there, and my dad, who's a lawyer, represented me in court. Got me off scot-free, no jail time, no fine. This is Mississippi. Weed is strict. Weed is strict out there, right? So he got me off scot-free. And here's the thing: I don't care what race you are. If you got a parent that can represent you legally, you don't get the freestyle, nigga. That's how it works. It's not for you. That's the rule. That's the rule, you know. I had too good of a childhood to be a rapper. I did. That's why I'm so jealous of Jaden Smith. Oh my God. So jealous. He should not be that good. He's so good. He's an anomaly. Like, let's be real. Icon slaps a little hard for a nigga with a trust fund. Let's be real. I don't get it, you know? He's so good. He's one of my favorite artists, right? And it's like, y'all got favorite rappers. They didn't, kill niggas, trap. jail for at least a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Jaden Smith, you the Fresh Prince's Prince, nigga. What is this? How the fuck he get to rap and I don't? You know? I don't like it because look, I think we can all agree poverty, hardship, struggle makes the best art, man. That's what the best rap music comes from: struggle, poverty. Jaden Smith ain't never been through no poverty. Closest thing to poverty Jaden Smith has ever endured was when he played the little nigga in Pursuit of Happiness. That was it. That's
That was Jaden Smith. That was like a portion of Jaden Smith. It is a longer bit. Very funny. Like I said, it's one of my favorites because I just hear your Jaden Smith resentment, like just coding.
I love Jaden. Hopefully one day he'll hear that and he'll sample it on like a track or something. That's like the dream.
I believe it. Icon too.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
That I would love that. That'd be that. Hey, they listen. So I want
I'm actually wearing his hoodie right now. I'm just an icon living.
Oh, you are? Okay. Well, Jaden, if you're watching, just make sure you slide inside Niles DMs. Y'all should do a track together. Like,
we need to.
He's rapping, you featuring, you just hitting jokes in the middle. That sounds hot to me.
I'd love to do like a skit on his album or some shit.
Yo, that would be dope. I'd be a fan. I'd be a fan of that. Okay, so I guess I want to just ask you straight up. So with Jaden Smith, with that bit, first of all, I like brilliant ending when you're talking about like, oh, the hardest thing he ever did was play the little nigga. Because if you think about it, in that movie, remember that scene, the bathroom scene, and I'm like, man, that probably was the first time he was like even in a bathroom that small.
I always thought about that as like Jaden was probably on set, confused as fuck. Is like, Dad, why are we poor? What is going on? What do you mean we can't have caviar, Dad? What is this? Like Jaden, and I think that's why kids are like sometimes the best actors because they're just using their imagination. So Jaden was using his imagination because being poor was not his reality. So
right, it's like being poor was like his. He was like, oh, we're gonna pretend. Okay, kids, like that's what rich kids do. So it's like the rest of the world, like a rich kid's playground. It's basically just like, oh my gosh, like the bus.
No doubt.
Man. Oh, well, do you remember where you were, what you were doing when like the idea kind of first popped in your head?
This is one of those jokes where I kind of remember all like how it all came together. Because when I first started comedy, I started at 20, so I was like a lot younger than like everybody. And so I didn't really want to talk about like my dad being a lawyer and going to private school and all that. So I never really had any jokes about it. But then somebody was like, dude, like if you can find a way to make that funny, like it's going to be really funny. So I really like, I thought about the whole, like me getting popped on a weed charge and stuff. And my dad was the one to basically save my ass. Like my dad represented me in court. And it's just, and I mean, I wasn't going to get no jail time or anything like that, but I think I was going to have to pay like some big fine. But my dad, like, he helped me out. And so it's just funny because, like, when you hear shit like that, it's just like white kids that get away with that kind of shit. So it's like, I think
that's why I love it.
I think it's just funny that, like, I got to do that. So yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, how can I make that funny? And then, like, when I was a kid, I always wanted to be a rapper, but that wasn't gonna happen. And so I was just kind of thinking, like, well, why can't I be a rapper? And I started thinking, like, nigga, like I went to private school. That's why. Like you don't get to be a rapper after you went to private school. It's not fair. You don't get to do that shit.
Right, like you had a uniform.
Right. And then I remember I think it was like Thanksgiving break, maybe like a little over 2 years ago. I was hanging out with an ex of mine. We were just catching up. We hadn't seen each other since like high school. So like we were catching up, and she said she had like been watching some of my comedy stuff, and she's like, "You're gonna be rich. Like your kids are gonna be like Jaden and Willow." And I was just cracking up, like, "Shut up!" Like, and I actually said, "It's like," I literally said, like in the conversation, it was like the hardest thing that nigga ever had to do was play the little kid in Pursuit of Happiness, and she just like busted out laughing, and I was like, "That's a joke." And so I wrote it down, and then you remember that mic we used to go to, Dunkies?
Yes.
So that's where I like really first started doing it. And it just started coming together. And like, that was like my favorite place to perform at the time. It was this art gallery we would just smoke weed in. And so like, that's where the joke like really came together, like 2018, and just doing it every Wednesday there. And after a few times, like it really kind of came together, and I got the punchline at the end, and yeah, it just started working. So
when you listen to it back, how does it make you feel listening back to it, and then also like knowing like how it came into fruition?
it's just funny because it's like I think about all the things that happened in my life to make that happen. Like I hated going to private school. I hated living in Mississippi, and like I hated like that the night I got pulled over by the police and they found the weed in my car. Like that was a fucked up night. My mom was like crying and shit, and she was angry. I just remember how bad I felt that night, and to take all that and then make it into this hilarious joke that like 37 countries have streamed, and it's the first track on my album. It's just it's just hilarious to me because it's like it's like a testament to like bad things do happen, but just wait till the end of the story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, that's deep. Wait till the end of the story.
Yeah, and so it's just like if I would have known all this stupid shit was gonna turn into a really funny joke on an album that I'm really proud of, like I wouldn't have probably tripped as much. So,
wow. I love that, and I love that, like, you even acknowledge the fact that your mom was upset, and it's like, I'm sure that night, like you said, it was a really crappy night, but it's like building blocks, and it all came together for this. So, Jaden, hey, boo, just make sure you,
Jaden, have your people call my people. Come on,
it's done. He's gonna be listening to this. I'm manifesting it.
Amen.
Okay, so this is another one of your bits you picked. I'm a huge fan of your whole album, but honestly, like all of these bits that you picked are perfect, and I think sum you up really nicely. So this next clip, I'm gonna play a portion from Orenthal that's also off of your album. So let's have a listen. Okay.
Because let's be real. We don't know what happened. She could have tripped on that knife 6 times. You don't know. You don't fucking know. But I think Orenthal, James Simpson Elementary School would be a great place. I'd be principal. We'd have a glove sponsorship. And in the hallway, every day, I have a big mural of OJ, just like the Juice doing this little Heisman pose, you know what I'm saying? And it would say, like, OJ Simpson Elementary School, and then the motto would be right there, building killer students. It'd be amazing. It's just...
Killer bit. Okay, so you actually have some merch out right now for this bit specifically.
I have some OJ Simpson Elementary School stickers that actually say building killer students on them, and it has a little QR code. So if you scan it with your phone, it'll play the joke on your phone. So yeah, if you want a sticker, go to nilesabston.com/merch. They're like, I think $3.99. So
yo, Niles, that when I saw those t-shirts, I was like, that looked like a real t-shirt. Like that looked like one of my middle school
got
t-shirts.
taken down. The t-shirt, I was doing it with this website. They said it was inappropriate. But it's like, yeah, it's inappropriate. It's an OJ joke. Like,
well, yeah, they're not going to print any of them?
Nah, so I got to figure out a way to do it myself. So once I get a little money, I'll do it myself. But until then, I'm doing the broke version and selling stickers.
Yeah. Hey, at least you're doing it, man. Because I was gonna buy one of them shirts. I was like, okay, next paycheck, I was gonna make it a crop top and everything. I was ready.
Right. But they're gonna be back 2021. We're gonna bring the OJ shirts back.
Bet. So OJ, okay, I gotta ask. First of all, I love that you just called the track Orenthal, his whole government.
I had to give his mama named him Orenthal, so we're gonna call him Orenthal.
That's why I love black people, okay? Because black people be like, I'm calling you what your mama call me. They be like, oh, what's your name? Like supercalifragilistic, expiala, got
nigga,
2
we
tracks.
ain't calling you that.
Like, nigga, why is your name a sermon? Like,
right.
Okay, all right. So what inspired Orenthal? What inspired that bit? The whole elementary portion. And again, that was just a portion of the full clip, but
well, like my whole this having an OJ joke was something I always wanted, because I feel like all the black comedians I grew up watching in the 90s, early 2000s, like they all had either a really funny Michael Jackson joke or a really funny OJ Simpson joke. Like my favorite probably of all time is Chris Rock's, when he's just like it's like I get why, like, it's like when he talks about the dude driving around his car that he bought from Nicole, and he was like, he shouldn't have killed her, but I understand. Like, that's me and my dad. That's like our favorite Chris Rock joke. So if me and my dad see each other, we'll just look at each other like, but I understand. Like, every time. That's like our shit. So I was like, I gotta have an OJ joke. But I didn't really know what angle. And kind of like the way I set the joke up is, in Mississippi, we have like schools named after like Robert E. Lee and Andrew Jackson and all these like Confederate people that like hated black people and stuff. But black
by the way,
I didn't go to any of the schools, but I competed against Robert E. Lee Academy and Lee Academy. Like, I was like, didn't nigga get 2 schools? ain't no school named after Martin Luther King, but Robert E. Lee get 2 schools. That's crazy.
Yo, did you feel like whenever you laid against those people that it was like a civil rights? It was a civil war.
No, for sure. It's just like, this is racist. What, like, y'all are proudly a school named after a racist person, but then it's like Jefferson Davis had schools, and so a lot of the public schools named after these racist white people, like, had large black student populations. And I would just be like, what is it like to be black and to go to these schools named after people that like hate you? Like, it's fucked up. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy that as a country we still have Confederate statues and all these kind of things and libraries and schools named after these slave owners. And I was like, I was thinking, like, they wouldn't let me start a school with all white girls and name that shit O.J. Simpson Elementary School. Like, they would not let me do that. And then even like the joke came to life when that company wouldn't let me make O.J. Simpson Elementary School shirts.
Yeah.
Like, the joke literally came to life. Like, I can put Christopher Columbus on a shirt. I can put Andrew Jackson on a shirt. I can put Thomas Jefferson, who's a rapist.
George Washington, who owned a ton of slaves.
All that. I can put all them on a shirt, but I can't put OJ with a funny slogan because that's inappropriate. And it's because white people are offended by that shit. White people aren't offended by founding fathers and slave owners because it don't matter to them. They didn't rape. Yeah. They great grandmothers weren't raped by those guys. They don't care.
Right, exactly.
O.J. Simpson being an alleged murderer, that's a taboo topic. And so if all these should be taboo topics then. So I was just like, let me make that into a joke. And so that's just how it came together. And then I just thought about, like, then I just started having fun with it. Like, what would be the school slogan? What would it look like? All these kind of things, the glove sponsorship thing, because like the glove didn't fit and all that kind of shit. And I thought of a tag like after the special. It was like we would have had like a what was the lawyer's name? We would have had a what's Johnny Cochran scholarship for law school and shit like that. Like, I didn't do it on the special. I thought about it like after. So yeah, that's just kind of how it all came together, because I'd had that thought, and then when I was in New York this past summer, I remember walking, and it just kind of came to me. And I just think O.J. Simpson is just crazy how like that happened before I was born, and like to still make a joke about it 25 years later. And it's still funny. Like, that's just crazy. It just shows you how polarizing of a cultural figure he is.
Absolutely. And I like that bit because it's like you flip the discomfort, you know, because it is, you know, I'm definitely a big believer that words are powerful, names are powerful. And in a way, if you use words improperly, they can cast spells, you know, negative spells. And I think it's ironic that in the Deep South, in these schools, that you've got people freaking, you know, on like just talking like about these schools, like, oh yes, I'm gonna send my kids to the Robert E. Lee. It's like it's so offensive, and the fact that like no one looks at it as offensive and no one looks at it as, oh, this is
Robert E. Lee shares the holiday with MLK in a lot of southern states. That's wild.
Really?
Yeah, Christopher Columbus still has a day. Why do we still celebrate all these people? And so I was just like, why can't I have an O.J. Simpson day? Because it's gonna make you feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
And so I wanted to have a joke where white people feel as uncomfortable as we do, but these are all these historical figures that we're forced to read about all the time. You ain't forced to read about OJ. You don't have to learn about OJ. You don't have to wear OJ on a shirt. You don't have to go to a library named after him. So the fact that I had to go and make a whole fictional place to make this joke just shows you how good white people have it subconsciously. And so all that goes into this little 1 minute joke, but like, those are all those things that I was thinking about. And so I just wanted white people to kind of see like, oh, this is something we never have to like think about or worry about. because another kind of way I was gonna do the joke because I couldn't really make it work was I was gonna compare like Mel Gibson and Eddie Murphy, how like hella white people love Eddie Murphy. And the thing is, they don't ever have to worry about Eddie Murphy hating white people or saying something racist about white people. But black people that love Mel Gibson and Jewish people that love Mel Gibson don't have that luxury. Mel Gibson told his girlfriend, "I hope you get raped by a pack of niggers," and he said all this like racist stuff about Jewish people. And so, if you're a black person or a Jewish person who Mel Gibson is like one of your favorite actors, that's you got to think about that in the back of your head. Like, this dude would probably hate me if he met me. But white people don't have to think that about Eddie Murphy. They can just get to laugh at Professor Clump and shit. So
Right,
like,
because if Eddie Murphy ever did or said anything that would make them uncomfortable, it's like he'd be done. You know what
it'd
I'm
be
saying?
done. It'd be over with.
And that's a whole nother thing. You know,
Right.
because I guess I love, like, one of my favorite, not even one, my top favorite comedian is Paul Mooney, right? Of
Love
course
him.
I love, you know, Chris Rock, Chappelle, Wanda Sykes. They're like staples, you know, Mom's Mabley. But for me, I really love Paul Mooney because he was just the master at that. He was the master at you know, attacking white comfort, but not, he's attacking it from the purpose of creating empathy, you know.
Right.
And like that's the whole thing about your joke, is like the whole point. It's not, obviously it would be offensive to actually open an OJ elementary school
Right.
and have a bunch of white girls wearing OJ, you know, on their shirts, okay? But I think the point is that so many people, especially so many white people, have been just in this bubble, and it's like jokes like that, like the Orenthal, it's like they bust the bubble wide open, and it's like, you know, because really, the golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated, it's a rule for a reason. And I think that a lot of times, you know, when you're doing a bit like that, what you're really doing is you're saying, really think about how you would feel if this was happening to you. And
Exactly.
it
I want white people to see that. I want straight people to see that. You know, it's just like there's a lot of things in life that you can just have a blind side to because you just straight up don't have to deal with it. Like as a straight dude, yeah, I'm black, but there's just things I don't have to deal with that my queer and trans friends deal with. And
Mhm.
so I think when we have jokes and then like TV shows and movies that create those kind of concepts and make you think, it creates empathy. And I think you just kind of sit back and listen and think and like, oh, okay, I need to stop doing that, or I need to be more aware of this. And that's all I was trying to do. I ain't trying to really open no school with OJ on the thing. I mean,
Right.
if I could, I would, but I'm not gonna do it.
Listen, get that taxpayer money, okay? Look, yo, the taxes on OJ should be extra. It should be like
Right.
black people got to work twice as hard. Black schools you got to get twice the tax. You know?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, hey, that's the story to Orenthal.
Right.
Another good bit. Well, I'm gonna move to the third and final one of your bits that we're gonna talk about today, off of Girls Don't Twerk to Jokes, and this one is called "Thank You, Dr. King." So I'll get it crack-a-lackin'.
I don't hate interracial couples. I just hate the white girl, black dude ones. I think I think you're the worst combo. I think you're the worst. But here's the thing. I can hate white girl, black dude relationships because it's not off of race. I don't hate you because of your race. I hate you because you get 2 Valentine's Days. You get February 14th, which was yesterday, and Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Right? Y'all know these couples. Y'all know these weird interracial couples from your hometown that be taking them selfies. Hashtag, thank you, Dr. King, for allowing this. Thank you so much. Y'all know. Y'all know. And it's just like, bro, like, come on. And I'm not even mad at the white girl. She don't know what she's doing. She know. She's just getting back at her dad, you know? She don't... But it's like the black dude should know better, right? The black Jamal should know better, right? It's always a Jamal. It's always a Jamal. But like, bro, come on. Like, you're taking the movement of one of the biggest civil rights leaders of all time and making it about yourself. That's so selfish. Like, did you really think Dr. Martin Luther King fought for your right to just fuck some white girl? No. Dr. Martin Luther King fought for his right to fuck some white girl. That nigga was a cheater. I don't know if y'all know about that. Right. Nigga cheated more than the Houston Astros. Shit was...
Wow.
Oh,
That takes me back.
yo, that bit is so funny. And you can hear I was at the taping, so it's funny because it's like I feel like I'm like, damn man, she had a feature credit. I'm hearing my laugh. It's like me and Arthur. I'm hearing our laugh.
Y'all, I hear you, Arthur and Scott, y'all cracking up.
Yo, man, that was a great night. I was like, it was definitely good energy. Okay, so another great bit. I love that you attack this because I think that a lot of times Black people, we can be ultra protective over our leaders and stuff like that, especially people like Dr. King and Malcolm X and stuff like that, right? But I love that you just talked about him like he was your cousin at the cookout. Like, y'all know Martin out here cheating.
I think that's the thing about Generation Z. We don't care about all that status and putting people on pedestal shit. If you did something, we gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you really like look at Dr. King, it's amazing. Like this dude was a reverend and a rock star at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, he was the most famous Black person in the world. Maybe the most famous Black person ever besides Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like
Jesus was Black. Okay.
Jesus was Black. And so why wouldn't he cheat? Like, are you serious? Like, if you really believe that nigga was, come on, like look at Future and Offset and all these NFL and NBA players. That was Martin Luther King at the time. Like rappers, and there was no rappers or NBA stars or NFL stars at the time. You know, like that he was the rock star. And so if you think Martin Luther King wasn't getting down on the road, you crazy. Like he was.
Right, yeah.
And honestly, he had the right. Like he come on, he Dr. King.
Well,
like,
I mean, he died at what was it,
30, cheat.
35 when he died?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
He was like 35,
yeah.
37, something.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, you know, and you're right because see, I'm I don't know what my generation is. I guess whatever one's like right before
You're
yours,
millennial.
I guess. What?
You're millennial.
Millennial. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. I mean, I be forgetting the terms, but like, yeah, so basically, that whole pedestal thing. Like, I was raised like, you know, no one said anything about Dr. King, and when I got to college, that was when I first heard about like, because you know, there's when you're getting your history for free, they're gonna give you like some BS. When you paying for history, that's when them teachers be straight up. Because I went to school in Richmond, Virginia, and I had a lot of Black professors, and they were like, "No, Martin was out there in these streets."
Yeah.
Like,
and the thing is, that doesn't make him a bad leader. Like, doesn't make him a bad leader.
It doesn't, because he's
just
still
flawed.
accomplished
Like all of us, we make mistakes every day. How are we gonna think this dude wasn't making mistakes with all that pressure? Everything kind of hanging on his speeches and marches and how he moved. Like, you think he didn't? Like, come on. Like, you'd be crazy if you didn't think he did that.
Do you think?
I just thought about like, how can I make that funny though?
Yeah. No, it is, but it is, you know, you're right. Because I was just having this conversation with my friend the other day about how is it that when Black women in the industry, we ask for our worth financially, and then we get called difficult.
Right. They tried to do that to Gabrielle Union for the longest time.
Right. It's like, you know, I'm asking, I know my worth, and it's like, it's almost as if they're mad that you as a Black woman know your worth.
They don't think you deserve it. So it's just like, how dare you?
How dare I ask? I should be grateful for crumbs. And I'm like,
grateful to be here.
I guarantee that y'all sitting there paying Iggy Azalea all this money to sit there and try to act like a Black woman that you think is too ghetto or not worthy of actually giving you the straight up thing.
Right.
you know, like, and I use Iggy Azalea as an example because she is appropriation like to a T, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's like, so a white woman who's trying to like emulate black culture, she gets paid like or what she's worth, but an actual black woman, it's like, oh, discount, and it
Right.
and so I know that was a little bit of a tangent, but yeah, I think black women are worth as is challenged often, and so I think it can make dating difficult because, you know, you're fighting to know your worth, but then you keep running into people not treating you like you're worthy. So I think that, you know, black women I've come across, you know, who are really against interracial dating, it's like that's usually the perspective they have is
Yeah.
okay.
I know this one white girl. She dumped a black guy because he told her he was with her because all the black women he knew, their standards was too high. And she was just like, wait, what? So that means you're with me, but you're with me because mine aren't. So she dumped him. She was like, well, obviously I need to get standards like a black woman then and not be with you. And so it's just like this niggas that think like that. And so
Yeah.
it's just like I grew up in like Mississippi where like it was just in the interracial dating thing is just, it's kind of still taboo. And one thing I've always thought was really funny was whenever Martin Luther King Day came around, it just seemed like interracial couples like made it their holiday. Like it
They
was just like,
did, and
this
it's
is our day.
gross. That's
We're gonna post
gross.
a picture of us holding hands for Instagram. Like, and then I remember seeing the hashtags, thank you, Dr. King, for this and all this kind of, it's like, Dr. King don't know you, bitch. Shut up. Like,
Right. It's like, Becky, have a seat, okay?
and so it
Because
was just always really funny to me. And I just wanted to I wanted to make a joke about it. But it's crazy. Like I've always thought it was funny. But I didn't write that until the week before the special.
really,
That whole thing. And in fact, that night was the first time I'd ever done it all the way through, like the whole. Because I didn't even know how long the bit was. It ends up being like 4 or 5 minutes, and so like I didn't know it was gonna be that long. I was just like, well, I'm gonna just because I had done in fact, the week I did my special, that was the first time I performed because I couldn't get booked on anything. You know,
yeah.
LA, it's so hard to get spots.
No one's off limits when it comes to
No,
comedy. Like, you know, like I definitely think that based on your perspective, you're gonna have more liberties as a comedian. Like, you know, obviously disabled comedians or comedians, you know, can talk about disabilities in a
right,
different way because they have a level of empathy, you know, that us other people don't have. Same thing with being
right.
a black comedian, a female comedian, and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's crazy because it's like you took a general topic, interracial dating, and then you tied it into Dr. King, and then it just like went into a whole tangent, but it all like flowed really nicely together. And yeah, like and you could hear it in the room because I was there that night. Like when you did that bit, it was it hit so hard because it's like you knew that this was gonna be uncomfortable, and you just were like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do
Cause
it."
like the way I started is just like I just said I hate interracial couples, and I'm like this is either gonna get everybody's attention or they're gonna be like what the fuck. So I was
Yeah.
like let me start off hot. Let's go. And so yeah, but yeah I like how it turned out. It might that might be the first and last time I ever do it because it's out there now. But if that's the one time I do it, then I love it. You know.
Well, Niles, thank you. That this has been Inside the Punchlines. I want to before we go, I first want to say thank you so much for doing this with me. You know, this is Chelsea's Chai. This is one of our segments on the show, and I'm really
Yep.
excited to have you on here and getting inside your head a little bit.
Thank you.
And what is so if you want to just share your social media with everybody real quick and how, where
Yeah.
they can find you.
Follow me on Twitter at Niles100. I just hit 10K, trying to get the 100K. So help me out. I'm out there. And then if you want to buy some merch, I got the OJ Simpson stickers on nilesabston.com/merch. And then I also got the twerk hats. I got hoodies. I got t-shirts. So yeah, they hit me up.
All right. Well, sounds good. Okay. Well, Niles, again, thank you so much. This has been great. Hilarious material. Again, if you have not listened or seen Girls Don't Twerk Jokes, I don't know where you've been because it's been a long pandemic. But guys,
It ain't going nowhere. You still got time. Go watch
it
it.
ain't going nowhere. And I was just gonna say, if you haven't listened to it or watched it yet, it is on YouTube or Girls on Church of Jokes. You can subscribe to Niles' YouTube channel, and also you can listen to it, stream Girls on Church of Jokes on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, the whole gamut. Anywhere you can listen to things, that's where it's at. All right, well, Niles, it's been real, and thanks for letting me get inside your punchlines.
Thank you.
And yes, that was Niles Abston, hilarious comedian, friend, all around good person. Like he said, follow him on social media. He is on Instagram, at the Niles Abston Show, and also he is on Twitter at Niles100. And you guys can, of course, go to his website, nilesabston.com /merch to purchase some of the cool things you had. I got to wear the twerk hat during the segment, which I love that hat. It's so dope, and I get so many compliments on it. So yeah, he's got some really swaggy merch. So check it out. And now it is time for Grow Up. I'm a little overdue with this Grow Up. Because this is about a clip that happened a few weeks ago. Rick Ross. I don't know if you all have seen it, but like, yeah, Rick Ross, he is been in the headlines recently, and being kind of fried on Black Twitter and stuff because he's being accused of colorism. Uh, and because there was a clip, I don't know what the show is, I don't know all the details about the show. I did not look it up. Doesn't matter. I saw a clip of Rick Ross and some of his I'll call them confidants, and they were all like commenting on female singers. I get the vibe it was a competition show. In the clip I saw, there was a lighter skinned black woman who sang, right? And there was a darker skinned black woman who sang after her. Now, if we're judging purely off voice, the lighter skinned girl was pitchy. She was pitchier than the Red Sox the night they won the World Series. Okay, like the pitch was here. It was a lot of pitch, and none of them were on the pitch you needed to be. I mean, like I said, she wasn't terrible. I mean, I'm sure with some voice lessons, like maybe she'll, you know, I don't know, be a great lead in a choir or something. Like I don't know. And again, I'm not dissing her. It's just like if you closed your eyes and listened to her voice, you'd be like, ooh, that's a C, should be a B. That's a D, should be a W. Like, and that's just what it is. Now, the darker skinned queen, she came on after her, and beautiful, beautiful. And let me say this, both women physically very, very beautiful. Okay. So that is not a question. But the darker skinned queen, she got up there and she, sang or played her track. And let me tell you, okay, pitch was not a problem. Okay. Like if she was pitching, she was, slaying it. Okay. Every pitch, every note, every little like nuance, every little vibrato, every run, like she sounded amazing. Right. And then fast forward, to Rick Ross's response. Rick Ross's response to the lighter skinned girl was, "Oh yeah, great job." He said that, but then while she was singing, him and his confidants were sitting there, kikiing and giggling. And so, I mean, obviously they knew that she wasn't, sounding the best. And then the darker skin queen gets up there, sounds amazing. And not only does Rick Ross, first of all, cut the track off early, he cuts the track off early, and then he says, "Oh, that wasn't the right song for your voice." And he says, and he said that the light skinned girl sounded better than her. And then the light skinned girl's like, yeah, see, I knew they was gonna like me better, and I knew it, and da 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 da. And it was like, yeah, you know what? That's colorism. It's just colorism. Because you cannot sit here and tell me that if you had your eyes closed and didn't know what either one of those girls looked like, and you listened to both those tracks, that you would not have picked the second girl. There's no way, if you were not looking at what they look like physically. And for Rick Ross to be a dark brown skinned man, and for him to talk about a queen like that, it just kind of was like, this is the thing. This is why you need to grow up, Rick Ross. Be better, okay? I understand that there's colorism in the industry. I understand there's colorism in the hip hop industry, but we as Black people didn't create that. Okay. It was created to create a separation within our community, because if there's separation in our community, we can never unify and we can never progress as a group. So that's why, yeah, Rick Ross, you need to grow up, fam, because how are you going to sit there and tell a woman? And that's the issue. See, you sitting there and you're gonna sit there and tell her that she not good enough and all that stuff. Like she ain't heard that her whole damn life. Meanwhile, she over here sounding amazing. And everybody knows the only reason that you like said the light skinned girl sounded better than her is because of her skin tone. Period. And now that light skinned girl is going to go around. You're really doing a disservice to both of them because you're sitting there trying to make the dark skinned queen feel bad about herself and say she not good enough and she can't sing when we all heard that she can slay. Okay. And then you're going to sit there on the same token and tell the light skinned girl that she sounds better when you know she needs several voice lessons, okay, before she get on any track. And even if you signed a contract with her, you would definitely make her take some voice lessons before you put on her track because she's not ready right now. Period. And I don't like that. I don't like black men who do that. And I did not say I do not like black men. I love black men, but I really love black men who love black women. And black men who do stuff like that to try to create separation amongst women. See, that's the whole thing. You creating some BS competition, and now the lighter skinned girl, she walking around like she better and like she don't need no help and she don't have to grow because you sitting there pumping up her ego, literally because of her skin tone. I understand hip hop. I get it. But be better. You know why Nas is one of the greatest rappers of all time? Because he didn't fall into that BS. I'm not saying he ain't never said no comments or whatever like that in any of his music ever. But overall, Nas don't talk like that. And that's why Nas will always be a legend. Okay? There's reasons why people like Tupac will always be a legend because they didn't fall into that BS, at least not into their music at the same rate that a lot of these other rappers do. So I'm challenging you, Rick Ross, and other people like Rick Ross to be better. Don't be out. Don't fall into that trap. I don't care. Be different. How she sounded better? No, are you kidding me? She didn't. Okay, be straight up. Be straight up. Just say you would rather have a lighter skinned woman in your music video or on your track. I'd much rather you be straight up and say that than tell a beautiful brown queen that she's doesn't sound as good as this cornball girl over here who has a nasty attitude, by the way, from the clips I saw and is really pitchy. Okay, like honestly, I've heard frogs sound better than that. Okay, in the morning when the dew is out on the grass. Like just stop playing. And that's the problem is a lot of reasons why there's colorism issues, especially amongst black women, is because of the way the black men, create this separation. And y'all sit there and try to say, oh, well, the light skinned queen, she this, and you make a lighter skinned woman black woman feel like she don't have to do as much as a darker skinned queen because of her skin tone. All of that is brainwashing. You are brainwashed, Rick Ross. You cut the track off early. I was like, man, I was jamming. How you gonna cut the track off early? Why? Because you knew the longer the clip played, the more undeniable it would be that you should have chosen the brown skin queen. And that's the problem. Be different. Grow up. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. That's really what I want to say. Tell the truth. I'm so sick of seeing beautiful brown skin black women being treated like we ain't nothing. Don't sit there and tell black women that, oh, you this and you're not this and you're not enough and you're not as valuable. Like that's really subconsciously what you're saying, Rick Ross. You're saying that this darker skinned queen is not as valuable as this lighter skinned queen by telling her that BS. It's a lie. You straight up lied to her face. And Helen Keller could hear that she sounded better than the lighter skinned girl, So yeah, that really ticked me off to see that and to see the look on that brown skinned queen's face. You know how many dudes have probably lied to her and said she not pretty and lied to her and said she not worthy and lied to her and say she wasn't good enough? You know how many people did that? Be different. Be different. Stop. Don't be another cornball ass rapper out here sitting there trying to make beautiful black women feel bad about themselves and feel like they got to do so much more. She ain't got to do nothing more. She sounds amazing. And I really hope she gets a bomb ass record deal and outsells you on a record because you out here being a clown ass dude saying that dumb ass stuff. And I meant every word of it. Period. Ricky Rose, my ass, man. No, we need to be Ricky Class A, okay? Take an African American Studies class. Learn the history of colorism. That stuff was made by slave owners back in the day to create separation amongst us. So yeah, Rick Ross, be different, please. And I don't even, and that's the thing is like, I've even experienced it. I've experienced it myself. And I had to grow up and I had to realize my worth. And I had to realize that, no matter what nobody say about me, yeah, I am beautiful and I am valuable. And if they don't think I am because of the tone of my skin, then they're brainwashed. And let's not even forget, like Rick Ross, the truth is we all don't think we all caught amnesia, okay? Because you did have that weird line in that one song talking about drugging a girl and da-da-da-da. We forgave you for that, okay? So you can very quickly be unforgiven. Don't be out here telling queens this and lying to queens and trying to pick. Don't do that dumb stuff, okay? Be better, be different, be unique. That's what makes you a legend. That's why Nas is a legend, because he's different and he's himself, and he didn't fall into this stupid ass, oh, hip hop, ooh, light skin, dark. That stuff is dumb. And on this Black History Month, I want you to know that you need to GREAUXUP. Okay? Ricky Rose, bye. Whew. And that's my girl up for this week. And that is this episode of Chelsea's Chai. It felt so good. I've been holding that in for 2 weeks. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Chelsea G Comedy. That's at CHELSEG Comedy. You can also go to my website, chelseagrow.com, CHELSEGREAUX.com. And yeah, guys, I'm also on Twitter at Chelsea G Comedy. Like that's my login. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is just my name. And yeah, next week we'll have episode 4 of Chelsea's Chai. Looking forward to that. And thank you so much for tuning in this week. I hope you guys have a beautiful weekend. Enjoy this first weekend of Black History Month. And yeah, cheers and salute.